Hi guys, and welcome back to another Tech Minds video. Now, a while ago I did say to myself that I would not cover another usDX cloned radio on the channel, but I come across this version and thought it might be worth taking a look at. Now, it costs around $100 and it covers 3 bands, that's 15 meters, 20 meters and the 40 meter band. Now, the 2 front-facing rotary controls are for tuning and volume, and you also find an inbuilt speaker and an inbuilt microphone next to those rotary controls. On one end, there's an on and off switch. However, there is no internal battery, so this is for when being powered from an external 12-volt supply. Although there does actually appear to be space inside the case for a battery, and we'll take a look at that when I take it apart later. There is a 12-volt barrel input, and of course the antenna connection, which is in the form of a BNC socket. Now, the other end, we have a mic stroke key input in the form of a 3.5mm socket, and then there's another 3.5mm socket, which is used for headphones. Now, there's also a test button, which is actually a PTT button. Now, you do get this rather cheap microphone with it, and spoiler alert here, the internal microphone does actually sound better than this hand mic, and you'll hear that when I test the transmitted audio later in the video. Now, there are 2 versions on the Banggood website. One is with the Morse key and one is without, but this is what the Morse key looks like. Again, I'll show you this working later in the video. Now, I'll quickly go through the menu, but if you want to skip this part, you can use the video chapters listed in the video description. Now, 1.1 is the volume control, and this appears to be independent from the rotary volume that's on the front panel. So set it to around 9, but any more than that and it could introduce distortion. 1.2 is the modulation mode, LSB, USB, AM and FM, along with CW. 1.3 is the receive filter, and when listening to sideband, I personally either use the full setting or 3000 kHz. 1.4 is the band selection, and even though all of the hand bands do show up in the firmware here, from 160 meters to 6 meters, this radio appears to only really work well on 40, 20 and 15. Now, my guess is that this is because of the filters that's on the main board. Now, maybe one of you can tell me in the comments when we get to look at the main board later in the video. 1.5 is the VFO tuning rate, i.e. step size. 1.6 is VFO A or B selection, and 1.7 is the RIT setting. Now, 1.8 is the AGC setting, and personally I either leave this to fast or I turn it off. However, if you do turn it off, you'll most likely have to keep altering the volume control that's on the front of the radio so that you get a consistent audio level, especially with weak stations and then strong stations which will literally come booming through. 1.9 is noise reduction level. 1.10 and 1.11 are the attenuator level controls. 1.12 allows you to change the S meter to either show dBm or show the level as S points, like we see on regular ham radio transceivers. Now, the whole of section 2 is related to CW, including a CW trainer. 3.1 is Vox and 3.2 is the noise gate setting. Now, there are a few settings of this radio, just like any other usDX radio, which will either make your transmitted audio sound just about readable or it will make it a complete mess. And the noise gate setting is one of those settings. Now, personally, I leave mine at around 0 or as close as possible, but you may have to play around with it to suit your needs. 3.3 is the TX drive setting, and again, this is one of those important settings. Now, I believe this is a bit like mic gain or audio drive level, because if you turn this up too much, then your audio will sound really bad. Now, I like to set mine around 2 or 3, depending on how good the microphone is. Now, 8.1 is the PA bias minimum, and by default, this radio came with a 0 setting. But for my testing, a value around 20 appeared to be okay for me. 8.2 is the PA bias maximum, and I'm sure this came with a default value of around 150. Now, I would recommend to drop this to around 120. However, do not set this level too high as it could potentially damage the RF output stage, but a starting value of between 100 and 120 would probably be best. Now, 8.3 is the reference frequency. Now, this is where you can make small adjustments if you find that the radio is off frequency. For example, if you're on 7.150 and the other station is on 7.149 and you sound perfectly okay to each other, then you know that you're off frequency and you can make that adjustment here. Well, that's about it for the important settings within the menu. Now, if you're an usDX user, then you'll probably notice that there are some menu items missing compared to others, but that's nothing that's going to stop this radio from working. Okay, so with the radio connected to my outside HF wire antenna, let's just take a look around the bands to see how well this receives and what it sounds like.
I'll pass it on, but perhaps if you give a report to the ON7 station, I'll tell you what, I'll pass it to you there, the ON7 NDR station, over to you, and then would you be kind enough, please, to pass it on to Trevor in the Netherlands, PA3 BOH as the next station. So over to you, ON7 NDR from G6 TBJ. We're coming through into Bristol pretty well, actually. Sorry, I'm very sorry, I didn't catch your name. Perhaps you go with your name, and then perhaps could you pass the net on to Trevor, PA3 BOH, from G6 TBJ.
Mike 0, Uniform Delta India, G0 Sierra Delta Delta. Yeah, good morning, most good afternoon, Robbie. Yeah, good to hear you. We've worked a few times in the past, Robbie. Good signal.
Ja, 5, Papa Alpha 5 Hotel Radio, Delta Japa 9 Uniform November, bitte.
Now, I also performed some transmission testing using the external microphone that came with the radio. I also made some tests using the internal mic. I used a web SDR located on the south coast of the UK to receive my signal, and this is what it sounds like. Now remember, this radio is only rated at 5 watts, so the actual power output would probably be a little less, especially by the time it gets to the antenna. Now, I would imagine that this little transceiver would be quite good for the CW operators among us, and that's because you do not have to worry too much about the transmitted speech audio quality. As long as the transmitted CW signal is clean, it should be heard. Now, I am not really a CW operator, but I was able to call CQ, even though it was into a dummy load. But the inbuilt CW keyer does appear to work. Now, for those of you that wanted to see inside the radio, well, after taking 4 screws out and the end panels, this is what the bottom of the main board looks like. Now, I say main board, but there is actually only one PCB within this whole radio. Now, this looks like the PCB could have done with a bit of cleaning before assembling into the case, but I doubt it will make too much difference to the performance. What do you guys reckon? Now, the top side of the board is where we have all the components, and if we take a look along the bottom of the board, we can see the filters. And as I guessed earlier, there appears to be only 3 filters, one for each of the handbands that this radio supports. That was 15 meters, 20 meters, and 40 meters. Now, a couple of other things to observe is the design date on the lower left. Now, according to this, it was designed, or at least the Gerber files were exported, on the 16th of June 2024, so only a few months ago from the time I'm making this video. To the left of the LCD, there also appears to be a battery connection, so maybe there is a version where a small lithium battery could be installed. However, just above this, there's also a place for a USB-C socket, which I guess would have been used for charging. Maybe there is another version of this online with all those components populated. The print on the front of the radio actually mentions FT8, However, it doesn't appear that there is actually any kind of data connection. So maybe you'd have to use Vox with some kind of audio interface. Well, there we go, guys. A fairly standard usDX, although it's kind of limited on the bands. But what do you guys think about it? Of course, it's not a top tier radio, and it does take a little fiddling to get it to transmit nicely. Now, it's interesting to see that the internal mic sounds way better than the included hand mic. Maybe I might wire one of my spare Yaesu mics to see how that sounds. Well, that's assuming that the capsule is compatible. That's something I'll have to check. For $100 though, do you think this is worth the purchase? Something you could throw in a backpack with a small 12-volt battery and maybe a wire antenna. I'll leave a link down in the description below, and I'll also put a coupon which is time limited so you can get yourself a bit more money off, if you want to get one, that is. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.